I am slightly concerned about our fuel. I hope we actually do make it. Oh, don't. Oh. Alright, what's up YouTube? This must be Fast Simpson 5 Gaming coming back to you guys with our episode of SNOWRUNNER on Season 17. Yes guys, back here again today. Today is going to be episode number 7. How you guys all doing? And today guys, we're going to be checking out the Voron, the new G-5352. Which should hopefully be pretty fun. I don't know. There's no real plan for today's episode, in case you guys are wondering. We're just gonna kind of build this thing up, bring it out, and we're only gonna go around do some tasks with it. We're not going to do anything too extreme with it. Just because, yeah, I kind of just want to get a feel for the truck more than anything. And also because I don't have a whole lot of time for recording this weekend, unfortunately, because of college and stuff. just life. But yeah, without any further introduction, I guess we'll just get into it. And I'll try to go over the stats a little bit more when we're actually driving. And for the moment, we'll just kind of skim through it. Skim through what the truck kind of has to offer. So we got 3 engine options in here. We've got yeah, a bunch of engines that I don't actually think exist for other trucks. I'm not sure actually. No, I do think the top two, the IMZ 300T and 310 TV, I think they do exist, but the 360X is a brand new engine that we picked up there. I think only in the last episode or the last couple of episodes. I'm not really sure. I forget. But that'll give us a plus power to weight by the looks of it. We start off with an A minus, so I don't really know how this truck's power is going to kind of hold up. I don't really think it's anything to boast about, really. It's not particularly amazing, but I'll explain that a little bit later. So we have just a balanced, a high-ranged, and an off-road box for this thing, so we have no fine-tune option, which is alright, I guess. Nothing wrong with that. This thing is in heavy duty class, which, does make me question some things. Like, why isn't it, like, I feel like this should be an off-road class with, like, the rest of the Vorons. I just don't know why it isn't. Yeah, then we have a race suspension kit. Fairly standard there. We're going to have 49 and 52 inch tires for this thing, and we're going to have the Voron's own custom set of tires, which we are definitely going to be using, because why wouldn't we? We got to test these new tires. But we do also have, kind of your regular array of tires as well, kind of your regular selection of mud tires, which are all there. I don't know if this thing has chains, does it? Yeah, it does. Okay. MHS1 chains. Okay, so that's pretty good. That means this truck probably be pretty good in a snowy region, honestly. Advanced medium, got your medium sets of winches, all your standard stuff there. That's cool. We got diff lock, which is engageable, and all-wheel drive, which is always on, which isn't particularly. It's okay. It's not my favorite type of setup, but I can work with it. We also have a spare wheel as standard, which I suppose we can take off. It only removes the wheel. It doesn't actually remove the wheel holder, the wheel mount. It just removes the wheel. What's the point of that? What's the point of removing it? I guess there isn't much point in removing a spare wheel anyways. We have 3 snorkel options, which the standard one is actually pretty tall to begin with. I don't even really think we need to upgrade it. Yeah, we're getting like a couple extra millimeters out of that. I think that's about it. Maybe in submersion depth, I really don't know. But anyways, here we are at the frame add-ons, which this thing has some frame add-ons. We need to talk about some of the stuff here. So I believe we can have long log with the long log carrier with with the crane, so that's very good. We could try using this with long logs. Not sure how that would go, but you never know. It also has a multi-purpose cargo module, which is it's a custom version of the already existing multi-purpose cargo multi-purpose cargo module, I guess, because we do have a multi-purpose for the other trucks, but it's much bigger, so they've kind of shrunk it down and kind of changed it up a bit, made it a little bit more specific for this thing, which is quite nice. The real cool thing about it is that we have the option to remove the crane or on this thing, to either not have a crane or have a crane with it. I think if we go down here, we can get, yeah, we can get the IM-50 on it, which is actually pretty cool. Even though, if I'm being honest, I probably would prefer the crane from the standard multi-purpose cargo module because it's a bit stronger. So yeah. Okay, so we have your standard van body. We got your medium logging frame and short logging frame, which seem to both require this thing's extended frame add-on, which is extremely cool. It's almost like we have two versions of this truck, because like this is something that we've actually never seen in this game before, where we could actually extend the frame of a vehicle, which is it's just extremely cool. Like, this just opens up a world of possibilities, even though they'll probably never add this feature to another truck again. Because that would just be, yeah, that would just be typical, I feel like. We also have the hydro lift on here, which is quite nice. We got the saddle high and low. We've got the LC 3.8 loading crane on this, which is exclusively a rear mount option. We can't have it mounted towards the front, which I don't know how I feel about. I don't know how I feel like that about that. I would like the option to mount it towards the front, like I just would, but yeah, it seems like it really squats down the truck. Like, it's not a very stiff suspension that's on this thing. The IM-50 seems a lot more suited to this thing. We also have our fire tank. We have our we've got a sideboard bed for this thing. I don't think this thing has a regular flatbed. I think it's just this custom sideboard, which it's very nice, I do have to say that. It also has a custom maintenance frame, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's just the bed with a cover over it, really. We have your towing platform. We got the fuel tank, seismic. We have access to the regular maintenance frame on this truck as well as its own custom one. Okay, that's interesting. Why does it have both? It doesn't need both. It doesn't need both of them, but it has access to both of them. I mean, I suppose the benefit of using this is that you can still attach a trailer, because yeah, you can't do that with this on it. Yeah, so the short logging and the medium logging frame goes onto it now with the extended frame installed. It seems to automatically take it off for some of the other modules, though. Okay. And then we can also have the LK2NY, which is the absolutely massive crane that's supposed to be for all the real heavy trucks, but for some reason it fits onto this. I don't think I can recommend using this on this truck, because look at the amount it just squats down the rear of the truck. It just doesn't seem like that'd be very good. That'd be very good off-road. And then also we have the standard Russian crane, the Avto 23. But yeah, for today's episode, we're just going to be running your bog standard sideboard and crane setup, really. IM-50, and we got the Voron sideboard. Do we need the extended frame for this sort of thing? I don't know. I think we can have either or, can't we? Wait. Yeah, we can have it without the we can have this set up without the extended frame. But I'm gonna leave on the extended frame just in case, because I still want to be able to attach a trailer, even though that could mess with our center of gravity a small bit if we have a trailer attached to it. But I don't know, we'll have to see. It could mess with the stability of a trailer if we attach one. I don't know. Okay, let's see what else we got. We got this pretty cool, ooh, look at that. That's cool, I like that. Also got your trunk repair supplies. I suppose we'll stick that on. Savior. It's pretty cool. We've also got a couple of bull bar options. We got lattice and we got heavy duty pipe. I actually quite like the lattice, purely because it has the danger stripes on it. That just looks cool. It just does. You can't convince me that doesn't look cool. Roof horns, yes, we want roof horns. Why wouldn't we? What kind of exhaust we got on this thing? We got side spitter, we got flap cap, and we got stock. Which stock is, yeah, it's just a bottom exit exhaust there. Yeah, it just completely removes it when you go up there when you put on the stacks. Huh. I think we will actually leave the stock exhaust on this thing because none of those two don't look particularly great to me, if I'm being honest. And then we just have our standard rims. We can't change them. What kind of color options do we have? Do we have anything nice? I mean, if I'm being honest, I didn't particularly like this paint job when I first looked at it, but now that I see it with the bed and with kind of all the stuff here on the front, I think it looks pretty decent. It looks pretty good, honestly. Ooh, the red, white, and gray. That looks pretty cool, actually. Might do that. That just looks horrible. Why would anyone want that? That looks decent, but I don't know if I'm completely sold on it. That doesn't look particularly amazing. I don't know. Yeah, we'll go with that. Alright guys, so this is what we're going to start off here by doing today. This is going to be our first little mission that we do. First little task. Start doing a few tasks. Nothing wrong with doing that. We're going to... It's actually a pretty easy mission, I'm being honest. It's called Metal Time. We're just going to go straight down to the metal factory here. Pick up 2 rolls and a single beam, which we'll have to do a little bit of cargo overloading, which might be harder than said than done with the IM50. I don't know, we'll have to see. And yeah, then we're just gonna run them straight up to the intake area here at the city storage, which is where we get pipes and the industrial chiller. But yeah, we'll just head out here. We'll get a little bit of a feel here driving up to the metal factory, because we'll have to drive through the swamp sort of area that we have here. Right off the bat, I can tell you, it already doesn't feel that agile with the turning. The turning circle does not feel that good, and I'd say that's mostly due to the all-wheel drive always being on, and maybe partially due to it just not having that great steering angle. The front wheels don't seem to turn all that much. That's full lock there. Okay. it's kind of funny when you just find stuff like that off the bat. Yeah, what else is... Yeah, okay. It's not particularly, getting up to speed or anything like that. It's not too brilliant at taking off. It feels kind of a bit sluggish, which was one of the things I was kind of thinking to myself this truck might feel like, just because... It doesn't have a particularly amazing power to weight or anything like that. It's okay for what it is. The engine torque on this thing comes in at 188,200, which is a little bit of an awkward number, but that's what the number is. So that kind of puts it around kind of trucks with like for example, the 2700T in the American trucks, which has around, I think that's like 192,000, or the 2600 TTA, which has about 180,000. It also puts it around the middle engines that are in the Tegas. I forget what they're called, which they're about 185,000. Or you could call it, I believe the top engine in the KRS Bandit has about 185,000 torque as well. So that's not really a great way of explaining it. I forget the names of the engines as well. Of course I do. I think the top engine in the Bandit is like the TA290 or something. I'm not sure if I'm right about that. You think after all the times I've tried to do these kind of like review episodes, I might actually write stuff down, take notes, but no, I just look at the whatchamacallit, the I just look at the spreadsheets, and then I just hope that I remember it. That's just the way I work. I don't know why I do it that way. It's just the way I do it. It's just I'm stupid. That's what I am. But honestly, we got up here pretty quickly. Oh geez, don't crash. Don't destroy your tires on that. You know for a fact if you run over something like that, your tires are just going to be destroyed instantly. Okay, let's pull in here, get ourselves loaded up. Okay, there we go. We're loaded up. So we'll just get going here again. I have the AAC, the scout over there. I had to actually do a little bit of work before I started today's episode. I just went around doing a little bit of scouting. That way I could see what tasks would be a good idea to do. Just so people know. Yeah, I've had to go around just, you know, grabbing tasks and stuff because I couldn't be doing that whilst we're playing. It would just take too much time. It's just easier to do it off camera. That way we can get the missions actually done in the episodes. It just is. Okay. But yeah, that's I was talking about the engine torque on that thing. That's kind of what the engine torque on this thing is comparable to, but it is worth noting that most of those trucks that I just mentioned have different weights to them. And the closest vehicles I found... Oh, wait a second. This is... I don't remember this being like this. Why is this... Oh, okay. This could be... This is pretty sketchy. This is pretty sketchy. Go up there, go up like that. Yeah, there we go. There you go. There you go. Okay, we good. We good. Yeah, the closest vehicles I found weight-wise to this thing, which, for reference, this truck weighs around, it weighs 15.7 US tons, I believe, or 14.2 metric tons, which, yeah, I don't know why I'm listing both types of tons. I should really just say one of them, say deal with it, go convert it yourself. But, you know what, when I'm reading the spreadsheets, both the weights are there, so I'm just like, yeah, we'll throw that in. Yeah, the closest vehicles I found to this weight-wise were the Corvette K700, which is pretty close to this thing. I believe it's around the, it's almost the same. It's a little bit off though. Obviously, the Corvette K700 really isn't a good comparison though, because that thing is a tractor, and for the most part, none of us really drive that vehicle too much, unless we're using it for like you know, rescue missions or stuff like that. So the next closest thing I found weight-wise to this vehicle was the Mack Pinnacle, actually. That was the closest thing I could find weight-wise, which the Mack Pinnacle comes in at 15 US tons, and I think about 13.5 metric, I think that's what it was. I don't know, I forget. Jeez. Don't quote me on anything, because there's always a chance I get something wrong. I mean, I think I'm right. I think I am. But yeah, that is the closest truck weight-wise that I've found to this vehicle. And like I said, you could use that as a way of thinking to yourself, oh, so maybe this truck will act similar to that truck. But it's kind of not. That's not really the way that's going to work, because the Mack Pinnacle is much more powerful. At 232,000 torque. It's got nearly 40,000 more torques than this thing, which yeah. I always kind of find it funny that that's how we measure the performance in this game, or the horsepower, whatever. But that's just the way it's measured. But yeah, so you could use it as a way of maybe telling yourself maybe that's how it might feel weight-wise, but then like the Mack Pinnacle, it's much more powerful, and also it's a 6x6, so it handles much differently to an 8x8. You know, it doesn't have always on all-wheel drive and stuff like that. So these two trucks are much different. Even though this thing is in heavy duty, isn't it? I could have swore there a moment ago it said we were in heavy duty with this thing. I just have to double check that. I just want to make sure. Yeah, we are in heavy-duty class with this truck, so, well, that's another strange thing about this truck, honestly, because until the Padera STD4, which only came out just before this truck, there were no Russian vehicles in the heavy-duty class in this game. It was all the American trucks. And for the longest amount of time, I thought that was just normal. That just, you know, it feels weird now that we've got American, or Russian vehicles, I mean, in the heavy-duty class, which, you know, was historically in this game completely dominated by the US trucks. And honestly, I think it is still completely dominated by the US trucks, because the Padera STD4 is a pretty good off-road truck, but it is very heavy. Its power to weight is not as good as I would probably like it to be. So I still think the American trucks perform just that bit better. Anyways, let's unload this bad boy. Restore the crane, pack cargo, and there we go. So that's gonna get us metal time done. Great work. With your help, we've restocked and can now resume assembly. Everyone's grateful. Without you, the day would have ended in a shutdown. Here's your well-deserved reward. So 1160 XP. That was a lot of XP for that, and 12,250 cash for that as well. That seemed very well paid. That was a very easy mission. That seems extremely well paid. Okay, here's the next thing I was going to do. It's this job here called Mobile Engineering. We just have to get 2 service spares and 2 small pipes up to the station warehouse. So we are going to be driving across the map with this one. But the small pipes come from here in the city storage, and the service spares come from the service hub right here. So not too difficult. We're right next to where we need to be for the parts anyways. And yeah, we're going to go over here and get ourselves a trailer, because we definitely need a trailer. Yeah, and whilst we're doing this, I'm not sure if we will, but there's a Scout 800 down here, which we will be kind of driving by, especially if we go on the main road. And that Scout has to go to this village. So I feel like we might do that at the same time. We'll see here though. We will be pretty heavily loaded with this one. So yeah, we'll have to see. I'm just gonna drive over here, get ourselves a trailer, and just come back. All right, guys, I'm back. What is it we need? We need small pipes, small boys. There we go. Okay, so we got them loaded up. So those, I don't think those are a particularly heavy cargo. So yeah. And I don't think service spares are particularly heavy cargo as well, but hey, we're still going to be pretty well loaded up here. So this will give us a pretty good feel of how this thing performs. I think anyways. I want to say that's what this is going to do. Also, am I going the right way? I know this is the way. I know there's a way across here. Just not sure if this is the right way. Also, another thing that's crossed my mind now, I'm actually curious to see, or maybe just try out, maybe off camera, is, can we, you know how we have the extended frame on this on the moment? I wonder if we can even attach trailers to this thing if we don't have the extended frame. Or if we can, how much gap do we actually have between the trailer and the truck? Because at the moment we have a pretty decent gap, so we should be able to, you know, we should be able to maneuver it fairly well. However, at the same time, because there's so much gap between the truck and the trailer, I am afraid of the trailer tipping on us. I feel like there is a risk of that happening. Especially with this trailer, because this trailer is just known for being unstable. Okay, let me see here. Oh, so if people are wondering, yes, I did do a cheeky refuel whilst I was at the trailer store, just in case people are wondering how I got my fuel back. You gotta love the benefits of playing in normal mode. You just go to a trailer store, refuel, buy a trailer, refuel from it, and then just sell the trailer back to them for the same price. It's a bit of a game-breaking mechanic, I feel like, sometimes, but you know what? I honestly kind of prefer playing the game the way it was when it came out, just kind of in like the you know, you're just kind of standard kind of sandbox nearly type of a mode. And you know, that was just one of those workarounds that as a new player I just came up with. I was like, hey, this could be really handy, you know. Then of course when hard mode came around, I was really interested to try that out when hard mode came out, purely because I wanted to see if I could come up with new interesting ways of breaking the game a small bit. But they kind of made it hard to do things the fun way, you know, that kind of way. Not to say that hard mode wasn't fun. Hard mode was fun in its own way. It was a real challenge to do hard mode properly. Hang on, is this the right... This is not the right way. I turned the wrong way. We're going the wrong way. We're going the complete wrong way. Why are we going... Oh, man. Damn it. I mean, technically speaking, we can still go this way. It's not... It might be a bit of a detour, but it's... Yeah, it'll take us out the right way. If we just drive up this way... and then come out here on the main road, but then we've kind of gone past where the scout is, so I'll have to drive back the way. Ah, well, it's fine. We'll just keep driving this way. It's all right. I haven't been on this road before, so hey, we're exploring new roads now. Yay! Also, I might want to turn on my beacons as well. Can I turn on my beacons, please? Just be careful there. It looks like we're getting quite a bit of lean there. Turn on them beacons. Yeah. Those look pretty cool. Are those new models for the beacons? Those beacon models look... They look new. They look a little bit more refined, if you know what I mean. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, anyways, more stuff about the Voron, anyways, which we were talking about... Yeah, we were talking about the weight of the vehicle, which... Yeah, you know, the weight of the vehicle, you know, kind of is what it is, and also it's, you know, the fact that it's in heavy class, you know, it's kind of strange. I still think that's kind of strange. It still kind of breaks my brain a small bit when I think about it. And yeah, I do think that the American trucks still kind of dominate the heavy-duty sector. I'm not sure if that's really going to change with this truck particularly. Maybe this truck will just be absolutely amazing. I'll just decide all of the heavy-duty American trucks are crap. But I don't think that's going to happen. The American heavy-duty trucks really do have kind of a special charm to them, if I is the best way I like to think of it. They're not as extreme as the off-road trucks in terms of off-road performance, but they've got that little bit more versatility to them, and they're, you know, I like to think they're a little bit more fuel efficient, some of them, and that kind of thing. I mostly like the fact that they're more, most of the time I feel they're just more versatile. They just get the job done, no matter what you need them to do. I feel like that's just the way I feel about heavy duty class. So I'm not sure if this truck, for example, really fits in with that. It definitely has the add-on capacity to fit in with that standard, but I'm not sure if it's quite got the performance, because like I said, it does have a little bit of extra weight to it. It's not the lightest vehicle ever. I do believe a few of the heavy duty trucks, the American heavy duties, are definitely lighter. Most of them, I think, come in around the 13 ton mark, I think, anyways, in the US metric, or not the US, in the US tons, not the metric tons. But yeah, I don't really know. And then, what's it? I suppose another thing that will probably make this thing perform a lot better, even though we're not really seeing it at the moment, if I have to be honest, is the fact that this thing, like the RX-600, has a very non-existent axle collision model. So it's supposed to be able to absolutely fly through like mud pits, as far as I've been seeing. Now, obviously, we haven't seen that quite yet, just because the truck itself at the moment just feels kind of sluggish and slow, you know, that kind of way. I do feel like that is probably to do with the power. Also, the red trailer is definitely trying to eject its cargo on us. Just push it back over a small bit. I really hope we don't eject the cargo, because I do not want to have to try and reload it. Oh jeez, that's sketchy. That's sketchy. Sketchy. Oh jeez. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Another thing that's actually quite interesting to talk about on this truck is the tires, which the tires themselves aren't anything particularly amazing, not in my mind anyways, not in terms of their just, you know, their standard kind of values. I believe they fall under the off-road class, and when you compare them to the like UOD tires and OHD tires, they're not anything particularly amazing. They've got kind of the standard 3.0 rating for the dirt, and they've got a little bit higher asphalt rating at about at a 1.0, I think, and they've got a mud rating of, I think, a, what is it, a 1.9, which is slightly higher than average as well in that sense. But the things that kind of set these tires apart from a lot of the other tires in the game is, one is their strange tire mass, which their tire mass comes in at 320 kilograms, which is it's just an odd number. There's no other truck with that particular tire weight. So yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to be a particular, you know, if that's going to be a performance enhancer for this thing, or if it's just going to decrease performance. There's not really much way of knowing. And then the most interesting part about these tires, and this is really a big one, and it's also a big concern for your truck's stability, honestly, which is the reason why I've been particularly concerned when we've been driving on some of those mountain areas. This truck has the narrowest tires in the game, quite literally, just the narrowest tires in the game. The width is a 0.414, and for comparison, I think the narrowest tire before that is like a 0.62 or something like this, 620. I don't really know. I think more of a standard is like a 0.650 though. But yeah, compared to the other tires, compared to the next narrowest tire, which I forget which truck it's on, it's about there's about 200 in the difference of the width, which I'm not exactly sure what it's actually measured in. I don't think it might be millimeters for all I know, or inches or something like that. I doubt it's that. I'm not really sure. But yeah, so they're quite narrow, which is definitely a concern for the stability of your vehicle. So if you are concerned about stability, the only thing you can really do to solve that problem is to just throw on the JAT mud tires. That's the best thing you can do. Or if you don't have the JAT, throw on a set of MHS. That's all you can really do. Honestly, this truck hasn't really been able to pick up too much speed, if I'm being honest. We haven't really done too much speed with it, have we? I mean, we're really on kind of the mountain. Well, we're not even in mountain trails. We're just in really bad area at the moment. Also, please winch, winch. There's no way. Oh jeez, the red oh, the trailer. Oh jeez. Okay, that was very sketchy, and that thing's gonna eject the cargo. Hey, it didn't fall out though. Hey, that's a win. Okay. Yeah, geez, this thing is extremely sluggish on the road here. It just really doesn't want to pick up any speed at all, it feels like. Yeah, no, I was really expecting this thing to have a little bit more kick to it. I don't know why, I just was, but it's really not doing that at the moment. I suppose we can stick it in high and see what happens. Which, okay, it's actually doing more than I thought it would. Come on, there you go. Oh, we're at the road. Okay, nice. See if we drive through the... Oh, okay, that's actually working a lot better than I thought it would, if I'm being honest. Okay, put it back into regular there. I'm going to go down this way. We're going to go grab that scout here. Hang on a second. Right, just backing my way in here. Because this thing actually seems to be pretty quick in reverse gear, honestly. If I'm being honest, it's actually pretty quick. Okay, and we'll just pull that thing forward there. Yeah, that shouldn't be... Oh no, it's... What the hell is that branch doing? And now we're dragging it on its roof. That's fine. That's completely fine. I'm sure whoever owns the vehicle won't be too displeased if their car comes back without a roof. I'm sure that's fine. But anyways, guys, I think from here I may actually do a little bit of a time lapse here, just because we're going to be driving on the bit of the main road here, so nothing too exciting is probably going to happen. Also, one thing actually I did want to mention is the fuel tank on this thing, and also the amount of fuel we've been burning. We're all the way, we've nearly gone through our entire 380 liter fuel tank. We're down to 130 liters, which I don't know, I think this thing is pretty fuel thirsty, which I was watching what's it, Nathan Province's video on this, and apparently this thing has a high idle fuel consumption, and not only that, it has very high, or it has fairly high consumption boosts when the truck is in lower gears, which yeah, we've been driving pretty slow this entire time, so I'd say we've been chewing through a lot of fuel because of that. So if you want to get the maximum fuel efficiency out of this truck, you really have to be driving with the foot to the floor and, you know, at a high speed. Not even with your foot to the floor. My foot has been to the floor this entire time. It's just we haven't been going anywhere. We haven't been going anywhere quickly. We really need to get it to go fast. That's the whole idea. Alright, yeah. I'll just go ahead and do a little bit of a fast forward here. Alright guys, so we are here at the South Village to deliver the Scout here, which I'm just going to steal some fuel out of it because, yeah, why not? Also, I think I might have slightly damaged it on the way over here, because, yeah, the suspension is completely blown out. Yeah, that's fine. Now that's what I call a real helping hand. At least now I've got someone to laugh with about my brilliant idea. Thanks, pal. I definitely wouldn't have gotten out without you. So 530 XP for that and 6,150 cash for it. So yeah, that's decently paid. It's a pretty good job, honestly. Alright, there we go. Also, by the way, that's what I was talking about there. That's a high idle for this engine, like 5 liters a minute when the truck is just idling. Also, another thing, you may as well look at that as well. Yeah, it went up to, like, if we're in low minus here, let's just see what it goes up to. Okay, 7.5 isn't too bad. 10, and if we're in low plus, it's not too bad at the moment, but then we're not putting too much stress on the engine at the moment. Not driving on tarmac isn't going to put enough stress on the engine for the fuel to increase too much. But we were doing 10 liters per minute when we were, you know, kind of driving at full speed on the main road, which isn't terrible. Okay, so we got 2 service spares, and then I have to repack both the pipes. There we go. Store the crane, and bam, bam. Okay, very nice. Great work. Since you got us everything in a timely manner, the pipes have already been replaced and the station is as good as new again. Thank you so much. Without your help, we'd have been stuck for a long time. So that's 1,280 XP for that and 13,400 cash. So not too bad at all. I'd say that one's, yeah, that was pretty well paid for that, honestly. Alright guys, so then next job here, and I think this is the last job we're going to do before we finish up. Well, I'm not really sure, we'll see here. The last job anyways, I think, is going to be supporting the countryside. We're going to go ahead and try and do this one. Essentially, we got a bunch of materials here, which have spawned in at this sort of site. I don't know what this area is called. Yeah, I don't know what it's called. It's some sort of site, I don't know. And yeah, we're going to pick up those materials, and then we got to go down to this cabin, the stable, and the North Village with those materials. So there's 4 slots worth of cargo there, so perfect for what we've got, perfect for the setup that we have going on at the moment, and perfect for kind of where we are. So we're going essentially we're going to have driven kind of the full way around the map nearly in this episode, which I think is pretty cool. Full way around the perimeter. Just want to try here. If we're just here in first gear and we just shove it into high, yeah, it kind of takes off, if I'm being honest. It's actually, that high gears seems to be fairly torquey. I should have been just using it, I guess. Yeah, it seems to just kind of go with it. Well, that is, we are unloaded, so I'm not sure if it's going to do the same thing when we are loaded. But yeah, it just kind of goes with the high gear. And then if I put it back into auto, will it go into 6th, or will it shift down? No, it went into 6th, okay, but we're not going through mud at the moment. Okay. Not staying in 6th though at the moment as we go through the mud here in this area. Is it gonna... It's gonna shift down to 1 though. Yeah, that was a real kind of problem though when we were kind of driving on those trails earlier though. The truck didn't really seem to want to get out of like 3rd gear. Like it wouldn't go past, it wouldn't really go too much further than that. I'm gonna accept that job. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna accept it. Okay, unpack. Pack, please. There we go. Okay, we're good to go. So I think I've gone through most of the important stuff about this truck anyways. I mean, there's probably going to be more stuff that I find out about it as you know, time goes on and I use it a little bit more, but for the most part, that's everything I think there is to say on it. I am curious though to see how it would work as in some other kind of, you know, truck configurations, like as a logging truck. How well would this work? Because it doesn't really seem to be all that, you know, powerful. That's honestly my biggest concern. That and the stability. Honestly, the stability of the truck has been fine. It's just the trailer stability that's been a pain in the ass so far. Why? Now I have to reload. Now I have to detach you just so I can reload you. I should have gone with the rear mount crane setup. Yeah, if we had an LC 3.8 on this thing, we'd be able to just, you know, we would be able to load the trailer in the rear because we'd have the reach on it, which we can have the LC at the, we can have the 3.8, the yellow crane at the back, which, you know, I feel like we should have the option to have that at the front, but I don't know. I just wasn't too sure about putting that crane on the rear because it did seem to weigh down the truck a bit, and I don't really want to be taking weight off of my steering axles. That's just a recipe for disaster when you think about it. Just like, why on earth would that be good for performance, or not even performance, handling? Why on earth would that be a good idea for handling? Okay, I have a route drawn to the cabin, so we'll make it that far anyways. Honestly, I am slightly concerned about our fuel. I hope we actually do make it. Oh, don't! Oh. Well, I guess we're not making it then. Jeez. Oh my god. I said I hope we actually make it, and then I immediately flip. Oh my god. There's some irony in that. There's definitely some irony in that. And I don't have any trucks nearby, so we're gonna have to go all the way back to the garage to get something to flip us over. Great. Just great. Alright then. Over you come. Just like that. It really did not take much at all to flip it, did it? Alright guys, so we're back at it then. Technical difficulties, yeah, that was definitely a thing that happened. I blame that flip on the trailer because it was the trailer's fault. The trailer started the flip and then I finished it, but the trailer started it. That was the trailer's fault. Oh, please don't flip again. Yeah, please, just don't do it. Anyways, on a more positive note, there's been some news in the SNOWRUNNER, and actually Roadcraft as well has got a little bit of news going on, which I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but I'm pretty sure it was just posted today, so by the time this video is up, you guys will probably have seen it. But the Mercedes pack for SNOWRUNNER, and it's actually been officially called Mercedes Pack 1, so that confirms that there's going to be a 2, and who knows, maybe even a 3 if we're lucky. The Mercedes Pack 1 for SNOWRUNNER is going to be coming out on March 17th, so that's brilliant. And they also released some new screenshots there, which I'll flash them up, assuming I have them, so you can see them. They have like one with the Mercedes Actros set up as a logging truck, which looks pretty cool. They've got one with the Zetros and the Actros together, and just in kind of like a swamp. They're both painted yellow, I think. And then I think they've got another screenshot with the Zetros painted blue, I think. Anyways. I don't know, I have to go back and check them. But they all look really good. The screenshots look pretty cool. They also put up kind of a stat sheet for the Mercedes Actros. I didn't see a stat sheet, well, not a stat sheet, but just, you know, like a photo with some of the stats of the truck, which the Actros is going to be an off-road class by the looks of it, 6x6 switchable all-wheel drive and diff lock, so that's pretty cool. They didn't have one up for the Zetros when I was looking at it, so you know, you never know, they might put it up in tomorrow or something like that. Yeah, we'll just have to see. But that's extremely cool, so I can't wait for that to come out. I'll have to do that when those things come, because yeah, Mercedes in this game is just mind-boggling. It's just brilliant. Can't wait for that. Yeah, and then on top of that, we also got they also announced the whatchamacallit, the Roadcraft, the new Reclaim expansion. They've announced when that's coming out, which I think it's like March 24th or something like that. So that's the new expansion for Roadcraft, which is pretty cool. Oh jeez, we're all right. I thought we weren't going to make that for a second. Yeah, so Roadcraft's new expansion isn't too far away either, which that thing is going to be a pretty big expansion. So they got 2 new maps, or regions as they kind of are in whatchamacallit, in Roadcraft. Actually, what the hell is going on with my marker system? Okay, here we go. We're just going to drive down along the river. We're not even going to take the road, because I think driving along the river is easier. Oh jeez, oh jeez. Okay, that was something. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Keep pulling. Keep pulling. How the hell is the engine on? Like, actually, how on earth is the engine on? How on earth is... Oh, jeez. Okay. I have no idea how on earth I survived that, but I don't know if that's technically considered a win, because now I have to load all the cargo back up again. No! No! This has been a weird episode. Okay. We're loaded up again. We're good, I think. Hopefully, for the moment anyways. Okay, so that crash might have been my fault, let's be honest. That one was my fault. That was on me. Anyways, yeah, the Roadcraft rebuild or not, it's not rebuild, it's called the Reclaim expansion, which kind of an interesting title. The Rebuild expansion, you know, that was the first one. That title kind of made a little bit more sense. I don't know, the Reclaim? I don't know about that. It sounds a little bit off for the construction game. But, yeah, that's looking to be a pretty cool add-on, so I don't even know if I don't know if I'll get, I don't know if I'm gonna get it or not, if I'm being honest. I'm still kind of back and forth on whether or not whether or not I like Roadcraft all that much. You know, I do play it from time to time, but like I'm still not doing a series on it again. Kind of canceled that, kind of forgotten about that, just because it's a lot of work to do that game for the YouTube. Purely because there's usually a bit of work. When I was doing it for YouTube here, there was a bit of work that I had to do off camera each episode, in order to just, you know, kind of keep things going at a decent rate. You know, I'd have to do a little bit of kind of, you know, building roads and stuff. Did I? Okay, I think we just lost a decent bit of suspension, and we also blew a tire on that. Okay, that's a problem. Well, I suppose now's as good a time as any to see what the refuel and repair capacity is on this thing. What do we have here? We do have 2 spare wheels with our single spare wheel, because of course that makes sense. Yeah, there we go. And in repair supplies, we have 150 repairs. It's not huge, but it's all right, I suppose. Then refuel, we only have 100 liters of spare fuel. Is that it? Okay, that's not great if I'm being honest. Okay, let's see, where do we have to go? I'm not sure, I forget. We do have to go all the way up there, so I think we're gonna have to loop back a small bit here. Yeah, and actually another thing I wanted to actually say, because I was thinking about it, because you know, you saw me use the Colob there, I forget which one it is 74760 or something like that. Hey, yeah, 74760. I can't believe I actually got that right. I don't think I've ever gotten that one's name right, if I'm being honest. Jeez, I always forget the names of the Colobs, because I always just think to myself, okay, we got the cab over, and we got the long nose. We got the, yeah, that's what I think whenever I think of the Colobs. I just think, yeah, we got the American style, you know, bonnet one with the engine in the front, and I suppose the 747 isn't actually a cab over. It's a cab front, or, you know, the cab's in front of the engine, because the engine's mounted behind the cab. Whatever. But yeah, the one thing I was thinking is that Colob that I was driving, that thing has a 380 liter fuel tank, and we're after driving out, and this thing has a 380 liter fuel tank, and like I drove out in that thing, and you know, it didn't chew through too much of its fuel, but this thing has gone through more than its tank's worth of fuel so far. Yeah, in this episode, and this thing, I feel like it just chews through fuel, man. Like it just goes through the fuel. It really does. Yeah, this thing just really chews through its fuel tank. I feel like it should have a bigger fuel tank, or just at the very least a less fuel thirsty engine, because it just seems extremely fuel thirsty, and like we don't even have that much. I still feel like we're not even getting that much performance out of it. I feel like we should be getting more performance, if I'm being honest. I really do. Come on, up you go. Also, I am getting quite concerned about flipping this truck now, because we have flipped it a couple of times. Oh jeez, just be careful, just be careful, just be careful. Oh, the red trailer's going over, the red trailer's going over. I hate this thing. I hate that red trailer so much. Stop doing that. Turn! Turn! Come on! Okay, there we go. Jeez, we're going through 20 liters. It went up to 23 liters a minute there for a second. Jeez. 20 liters going up here. Okay. 24. Yeah, that's bad. Oh, hey, look, horses. Hey, they got horses from Austria. Hey, look at that. That's cool. Okay, we're just gonna very slow. Oh, geez. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Crane, please. Please push us over. Oh. Oh, there we go. Oh, oh, geez, handbrake's not on. Jeez, we could have rolled down there. Can't believe I rolled it again. Okay, that's fine. Very carefully, very carefully. Just gonna drive down that. Oh, jeez, oh, jeez, oh, jeez, brakes, brakes. I am really glad that we do not have anything in that trailer anymore. Oh, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh my, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Why? Why? Why me? Okay, it's not a very long drive to get up to this place, but at the same time, it is a bit of it. Like we do have to drive up there. I think I am going to actually ditch the trailer just because it's causing us too much problems. Yeah, you're going in the river. We're ditching the trailer. We're going it alone. Okay, let's just not flip. Whatever we do, don't flip. I mean, if we run out of fuel, that'll still be annoying. But if we don't flip, that's that's a little bit less embarrassing, you know. Okay, actually, you know what? Add to the list of things, don't destroy your suspension, because if we destroy our suspension, we're not going to be able to make it up there, I'd say. And we have no more repairs. We actually, yeah, like, this thing really doesn't have that much repair points, if I'm being honest. It just doesn't. It's, yeah, okay. You know, I kind of expected a little bit more from this, if I'm being honest. Especially with the way people were talking about it, and it's, you know, its axles having nearly no collision like the RX 600, but you know, it kind of just feels slow and sluggish, if I'm being honest, most of the time. I suppose you really do need to have it in high gear to get its potential out of it. Now, then again, you know, for most of the areas that we've been driving around here today, we really haven't been able to use high gear because these trails, some of them, you'd want to be insane to use high gear on them. Because we definitely would have flipped a lot more if we were just high gearing it the entire time. You know, but like, I mean, at the same time, like, if we used high gear, we would have also saved a lot on fuel. But yeah, I really don't know what the strategy is with this truck. I haven't, usually after, you know, doing one of these episodes, I kind of think to myself, yeah, I got a good idea of what the truck is good at, you know, that kind of way, and I've got a good idea of how I should probably use it. But with this one, I don't know, I'm just not sure what the best way to properly utilize it is. Supporting the countryside. Thank you for being so diligent. All the villages have received their shipments, and thanks to you, we've avoided any supply disruptions. You've proven that we can always rely on you. Your reward has been issued. So 1,450 XP and 17,100 cash. So yeah, that was pretty good for that job, honestly. But yeah, that's going to be where we leave it today, guys. I'm not doing any more. I've recorded for 2 hours, even though I didn't want to record for 2 hours, because, yeah, I want to try and get this video, you know, done and out quick, you know. Hopefully I don't have to cut too much from me, you know, actually driving the truck and, you know, seeing how it performs. But, yeah, final note, it's a pretty good truck, honestly, all around. It's pretty fuel thirsty, more fuel thirsty than I would like it to be. I probably should put the MHS or jacked MHS on it just to see how those would fare with it. And yeah, I mean, it's just not as powerful as I feel like I would like it to be. It just does feel a bit sluggish for what it is. It just doesn't, you know. But like, it's weird because you can put it into high gear and it will just go. which is so, it just feels so strange to drive this thing. Yeah, if I'm being honest, I'm kind of just conflicted with this thing. I don't really know what to think about it. Here's a little look in the interior because we didn't do that. But yeah, that's going to be where I leave it here today, guys. Thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next one. Goodbye.